Yeah, over here is good. Over there? Yeah. Maybe. I'm going to get out of the way. It's not quite in where it needs to be. Where? When you get up the lid. Can you see that it's not quite in there? And it's heavy. There you go. That's it. Perfect. That's about all I can do with the Gotcha.
Sound off while you're adjusting.
It is 7.
Okay, good. That's what I thought, but I wasn't.
Friday night occasion.
I usually experience evidence.
I know you do.
To
Shabbat shalom. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Can you hear me okay here?
No, you're
I
not
don't think
on.
this is on.
Oh,
Well, you can, but not everybody else.
no.
Okay.
Micah, can you just check mic number 2? And you can use this in the meantime.
Okay. All right. Great. Okay, so not only Shabbat Shalom, but Chag Sameach, happy holiday. We're in Sukkot together and Shabbat, and so glad that we're here together. I'm Rabbi Kavod Weider, and together with Kim Governor and Lonnie T, we will be your guides for our Shabbat experience this evening. I also want to acknowledge one of our board members is here, Helen Rasner. Helen, would you just wave or stand? So if you have any questions at the end of services or anything, Helen is here to help out. Just some logistics. If you're new to Temple Bethel, if you need to use the restroom at any place, anytime, please just head out the door to the top of the stairs and you make a right, and the restrooms are at the end there. Feel free. This is very relaxed atmosphere. It's Shabbat, do what you've got to do, and we'll just be singing and praying and being in silence together. If you have cell phones, make sure that they're silenced so that we don't have any kind of interruption of the sacred space that we're creating. And just want to thank everybody in advance for keeping your masks on inside the building. We know that it's not always especially when you're singing, it's not always the most pleasurable, but right now it's allowing us to be together and to do this together. And please feel free, if you need a little mask break at all, right outside, if you go out this door right here or out the doors from the banquet hall, that's where our sukkah is. And if you want to just take a little break in the sukkah outside without your mask, feel free. So, our sages say that what we accomplish through tears on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur, we accomplish through joy on Sukkot. Meaning that we can become connected to what is real, what is deep, what is beautiful, what is most meaningful about life. Obviously through tears, through feeling the way that we've missed the mark, the way that we've gone off, and that becomes the path back together. But we also connect and through joy. And some people might even ask, well, why have to have tears in the first place? Why not go straight to the joy? Because that's what a lot of us want. But the reality is that they all come from the same place. They come from the heart. And sometimes we can only really access true joy when we've been real about the place where it hurts. And a lot of the times laughter can follow tears. And because what it's ultimately about is connection. Sometimes we've got to connect with where the pain is in order to connect to where the joy is, because it's all the same place. And now in this holiday of Sukkot, our sacred service is to now connect through joy. So I want to really encourage you on this Shabbat as we're singing to just pour it out. Sing. You may not know the melodies, the words may be different. Try it. Look silly. Nobody can even hear who's doing what. Here we're just all one big, bumbling congregation here, cacophony. Exactly. So this is life. Try it on. See how it feels. Don't be shy. So to begin our Shabbat experience, let's see if this is if number 2 is working. Oh, it's not working. Micah, is 2 not working? You don't know? Okay. So I'd like to invite up Charlene and Ken Zuckerman to lead us in the lighting of the candles as we're going to go deeply into honoring the place of Shabbat. And just before they do, I just want to say that, when I do Shabbat on Friday mornings for the preschool, which I did this morning, we have a really special moment, which is, there's the custom to cover your eyes while you light the blessing. That custom has a couple of different meanings of why we do it. We'll save that for another time. But what I'll say right now is then when we open up, we say, and now we see the world with Shabbat eyes. And, and look how beautiful everybody is when we can see each other with Shabbat eyes. Because the idea is we're living life through this filter. Our minds are constantly chattering with our agendas and our schedules and our doings. And Shabbat becomes that opportunity to say, let's clean the window pane. Let's just let all that stuff settle. And let's see things as they are. Let's see with Shabbat eyes. So the candles help us see with Shabbat eyes. It's no safety, just squeeze. Can you squeeze?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Wow, you look great with Shabbat eyes.
Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai Ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai Ay 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 Ashiranenu kol atzeria Ashiranenu kol atzeria Ashiranenu kol atzeria Ashiranenu kol atzer Hey! Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai Ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai Ay 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 Let's go Ashiranenu kol atzeria Ashiranenu kol atzeria Ashiranenu kol atzeria Ashiranenu kol atzer Hey! Ya'alo Sadai Come on! V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai Ay 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 Ya'alo Sadai V'chol asher bo Ya'alo Sadai Ay 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 Rabbi Kavod. Check. Check, check. It's going on and off. Okay. Okay.
Take a second for these technical difficulties here.
Check, check. Check, 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 check. Okay, good.
That's good. And number 3, Micah, is what I have here.
I have 3.
Oh, I can't have it. I know. Sorry.
I've got 3.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
This is God saying don't have technology on Shabbat. No, probably not. All right, let's go straight into L'cha Dodi. Yalla la 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 L'cha Dodi. Yalla la 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 L'krat Kala. Yalla la 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 P'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat nikah.
Page 18.
Yalla la 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 L'cha Dodi. Yalla la 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 L'krat Kala. Yalla la 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 P'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat nikah. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmiyanu elam yuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ol tiferet v'litila Yalla la 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 ונלחם כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה
Verse 9.
עטרת בלה גם בשמחה ובשולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה
That not all of us, even though this is a time of joy and we try to find that place in our hearts, some of us are also carrying loss, people who we've loved that aren't with us. And if you're here because you're saying you're here for a yard site or honoring a loved one who's passed, we say to you, Hamakom yenachem etchem, may the Holy One comfort you, and may you feel the support of community and prayer as we're together. So we will continue with Chatzi Kaddish. I just want to remind you, please, that we do need to keep our masks on while we're inside the temple, so please keep them on. We're on page 22.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה
Amen.
יעמד יברך ירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי תכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה tushbechata v'nechemata damivron biyoma v'meru. Amen.
Baruch Hu is on page 23.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Page 26, as we welcome in the evening and the creative divine presence that's here in the dark.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim. Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Aravim.
Amen. Page 27, Ahavat Olam, eternal love, that you love all of us and give us the blessing to love you.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amachavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadita Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shofeinu u'v'kumeinu Nasiach bechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך יומנו ואורך יומנו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה יומם ולילה. ויעבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen. So if you turn to page 29 and 30, you'll see the Shema on 29, and then a little bit of a meditation, like a musical intention meditation for the Shema, which is listen. So Kim's going to lead us through this, and let it just penetrate in so that you really can listen in that way that's not just with your ears, but with your heart, with your whole being.
When you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say. Then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all your might. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way, and listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen, listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. If it is your custom to stand for the Shema, please do so now. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malachuto Leolam Va'ed. Listen, listen to our God. Listen, listen to our God.
You may be seated. Page 31.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך hayom al levavecha, vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha v'aderech, u'v'shofbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. Leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lehiyot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 37, Micha Mocha.
Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osei feleh, Norah tehilot osei feleh, Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, Bokei ayam Lipnei Moshe, Zeili anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai God Yisrael.
On page 39, the Hashkivenu prayer. This is a little hint that our sukkah that we sit in during this holiday is not just made of vegetation and palm branch and temporary structure, but it's also an awareness, a spiritual awareness of comfort, connection, peace. We ask God to spread a Sukkat Shalom over us. And this is something that is accessible to us at any moment. Third line.
Aleinu Sukkat, Sukkat Shelomecha, Ufros aleinu Sukkat, Sukkat Shelomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, v'yam Yerushalayim.
Amen. Page 40, Vishamra.
Stand on this one?
Would you like to?
I would like to. Let's stand. Blood flow. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. Come on, Morna. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. Yishesh. Hold on. Olam, berit olam, berit olam. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. Piano solo. Ki sheishet yamin asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. V'shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. Uvayom, uvayom hashvi'i.
That's today.
Shabbat vayinafash, vayinafash, vayinafash. Last time. Shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat. Shamaru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat et ha-Shabbat.
Stay standing for a moment. We're about to enter our Amidah prayer, kind of a little bit of the heart of the evening service. And it's customary that when we do the Amidah, we take 3 steps back first, and then 3 steps forward. And the idea, at least as it's articulated in the Talmud, is that you take 3 steps back and imagine that you are standing before the palace, the holy palace, the divine palace. However you want to let your imagination create that space that you're going to step into and inhabit. And then the 3 steps forward, you move into the palace, into the place where the Holy One resides. And again, these are, the Baal Shem Tov says that imagination is a direct way to God. Because imagination takes us beyond the boundaries and the limitations of our own sense of what's real and what's possible, and takes us into unknown territory. So you can allow yourself, when you step back to begin to prepare for the Amidah, to imagine that palace. But for today, it's also taught that the Sukkah is a mishkan, is a sanctuary, is a holy place. And I want to imagine that maybe even instead of stepping into the palace, you're stepping into the Sukkah. Because what Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva's contemporary in the 1st century, said is, Rabbi Akiva said, Sukkot are those booths, those huts that the Israelites lived in the wilderness. But Rabbi Eliezer said, no, the Sukkot are the clouds of glory. That is the awareness of the divine presence. So that's what I want to invite us to step into in our Amidah prayer. And we'll start this prayer with a kavanah, or an intention. Open up our eyes, and then together we'll move into the prayer. So the prayer itself will start on page 45, but open up our eyes is not in the book. You'll pick it up and you can sing it along with us.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we know that you are one, and we will know that you are one.
So go ahead and take those 3 steps back. Imagine that mishkan, that sukkah, that palace that you're about to step into. And then take those 3 steps forward, letting your imagination lead you into holier and holier space. The Amidah prayer will be on page 45 all the way until page 57. And there's a special insert for Sukkot that's on page 53 when you get there. But you can go in and out of the liturgy, the words on the book, or your own prayer, as long as you're in that palace. We'll take a few minutes in silence.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon velo hashalom. Atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. בתוך בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rab, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rab, O Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Many of us think about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur as the high holy days, the days that bring in the Jewish New Year. But we don't always realize that the 7-day holiday of Sukkot is also part of this cycle. The essence of the festival of Sukkot doesn't commemorate a specific historical event like Passover, which commemorates the Exodus from Egypt, or Shavuot, the revelation of Torah at Mount Sinai. But Sukkot is the conclusion and the summary of all of the festivals over the entire Jewish year, as well as the history of the Jewish people. We remember with gratitude our previous year through the harvest of our bounty, both physical and spiritual, and this holiday also begins the initiation of a new path forward into the year. The Sukkah also, which some of us ate dinner in outside, doesn't come to commemorate a particular event. Instead, it commemorates the entirety of the experience of the children of Israel in the desert, the life of a people without a country, without claim to a land, and without stability. This commemoration includes gratitude for all of the miracles of the Exodus that transpired in the past, the clouds of glory that accompanied our people on their journey, and the contrast between the life of a people wandering in the wilderness and the conclusion of the harvest of the produce of the fields and the trees in the land of Israel. This sense of wandering, of being at mercy to the elements, relying only on God and each other for protection and for support, is the true reality of each and every one of our lives. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. We don't know what new variant or California fire or earthquake or horrible illness or accident will greet us when we wake up tomorrow morning, heaven forbid. While we have homes to protect us against the elements, schedules to give us a belief that we know what's going to happen tomorrow, the reality is that life is really an adventure filled with perils, surprises, and miracles of connection. The Sukkah reminds us that we share the same reality as our ancestors, and that to remember that in our 21st century world means that we learn to live with uncertainty and to rely on God and each other. So while the Sukkah is about the past, it's also about the here and now and how we want to live this coming year. The Arba Minim, the 4 species, otherwise known as the lulav and etrog, that we shake on Sukkot, on one hand serve as a kind of a victory procession, celebrating the work that we've done on ourselves during the High Holy Days. If the books of life and death were open between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and we chose life, then we emerge victorious on Sukkot, shaking with the 4 species in our hands. Shaking the lulav and etrog also includes saying a prayer for rainfall and successful crop in the coming year, the very essence of the mitzvah. So if this kind of magical thinking of like shaking this so that rain will come doesn't appeal to you, then you can understand this metaphorically, like our rabbis do. Water and rain is symbolic of Torah. Like rain and water nourishes physical life, Torah nourishes our own inner spiritual life. The rabbis interpret each one of the four species as connected to a part of the body. We shake the etrog because that symbolizes our heart, affirming our intention to have our mind and emotions filled with an awareness of God and connection in the years to come. We shake with a date palm because that symbolizes the spine, having the intention that our bodies, our actions, reflect the divine reality. We shake with the willow because the leaves look like lips, symbolizing that our words should only bring goodness and connection in the world. And we shake with the myrtle, which looks like eyes, so that we only see God's light in our world this coming year. We see with Shabbat eyes. In the verses of the Torah that address the festival of Sukkot, the elements of thanksgiving and rejoicing are obvious. Beyond the rejoicing that characterizes all of the festivals, there is a special mitzvah of rejoicing on Sukkot, to the extent that even the name of the festival that's coined by our sages is Zman Simchatenu, the time of our rejoicing. As an extension of thanksgiving and rejoicing, there are special mitzvot on this holiday which include mention and prayer of rain and blessing for the coming year. These include the pouring of water on the altar when the temple in Jerusalem stood, the mitzvah of surrounding the altar with willow branches, and the waving of willow branches on the seventh day of the festival. All these ancient tribal ceremonies for bringing rain. And while these inspire that prayer for rain in the coming year, they're not accompanied by fasting and pleading, which is the original intention of Avinu Malkeinu that we do on the High Holy Days. That was originally a prayer for rain, but from a very different place. Oh, God, our Father, we don't have deeds enough for you. Ein banu ma'asim. This time, rain is an expression of great joy. I think that the special joy that characterizes this holiday of Sukkot is because, on one hand, the themes of the holiday asks our hearts to be open to the ways we've been blessed in this past year. And on the other hand, the rituals and prayers orient us towards a hopefulness and excitement for what's possible in this coming year. And it can be difficult to cultivate this joy if we've had an especially hard year and struggle to connect to what we've harvested up until this time. And without a connection to those blessings, we might have trouble feeling optimistic about the future. The teachings of Sukkah and the four species are instructive in that they remind us that everything changes. What was difficult in the past does not determine the future. That we are on a journey and life is an adventure. And that our vehicles for moving in this world, our bodies, our eyes, our mouths, and our hearts, are places that we can choose to dedicate to creating our bright future. Final story. Oops. A man went in the 19th century to visit the great rabbi, the Chofetz Chaim. And he was traveling, he came all the way to see this great rabbi, and he was so excited to spend time with him. He knocks on the door, the rabbi opens the door, and he says, "Shalom Aleichem, welcome, great to see you." And the man introduces himself. "I was hoping to spend some time with you." And the man kind of peeks into his house behind him, and he sees just a table and a chair and a bed. That's it. There's no other furniture. And he said, why do you only have this table and chairs? Why don't you have more things here? And the Chofetz Chaim looked at the man holding his suitcase, and he said, "Why do you only have a suitcase?" And the man said, "Well, I'm just passing through." And the Chofetz Chaim said, "So am I, just passing through." just passing through. What kind of joy can we bring on this journey of passing through? So we'll now have an opportunity for prayer for healing. If you're joining us online, please, you can say out loud the names of loved ones that you'd like to include in our healing prayer. Please feel free, any one of us here in the sanctuary, go ahead and just say the names out loud. We can all say them at once if we want, and we'll bring that into our Misha Beirach prayer. The Misha Beirach prayer can be found on page 63 in the middle.
מקור הברכה לאבותינו. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Please stand for Aleinu on page 64.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגמור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 73. And in our synagogue family, we're in the Shiv'ah period for Beverly Adler, the mother of our member Mark Adler. We're in the 30-day Shloshim period for Morton Shapiro, the father of our member Mara James, Laura Spiegel Sommerfeld, mother of our member Janet Lauren, Frances Feldman, mother of our member Debbie Motenko, and Michael Kitai, father of our member Eric Kitai. We're also commemorating the following yard sites. If I say the name of your loved one, please stand in honor of your connection to them. Paul Abrahams, Marshall Alper, Philip Annis, Thelma Bender, Enid Berman, Eli Berzow, Rosalie Block, Mary Cohen, Sidney Eisenberg, Joe Engel, Joey Finkelstein, Judith Frank, Mali Frankel, Israel Mordechai Gerlitsky, Henry Glickman, Cornelia Heinal, Joseph Harris, Richard Howard, Jack Kipnis, Israel Lewis Korobkin, Rella Kuhn, Josephine Leash, Marianne Mannheim, Robert Mirsky, Cyril Rudolph, Ida Pearl Russell, Gerald Scherer, Ethel Schultz, Abe Sorokin, Eitan Talby, Sylvia Tilov, Helen Vishnov, Lillian Weiss, Ruth Weiss, and Margaret Katz-Zelowitz. Is there anybody else that we're saying Kaddish for today? Okay. You may stand or sit according to your custom for Mourner's Kaddish. Page 73. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah ve'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei olmaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memory be for a blessing. Amen. Please be seated. So, announcements. Tomorrow morning, we have conservative services at 9:15 in the chapel. And then the holidays. Oh, sorry, no, Micah's reminding me. We're changing it. It is not in the chapel. Conservative services are here in the sanctuary, and they will be streamed as well. We are also having Torah study at 9 a.m., which is online. You can go ahead and link online. Thank you, Luz. I don't have that on my sheet here, so I'm just, Then the rest of the holidays will continue on. Well, there's going to be a Bee Sisters afternoon in the Sukkah on Sunday at 2 p.m. And then also we celebrate Shmini Atzeret on Tuesday morning, September 28th, which will be here in the sanctuary. That'll be a conservative service with Yizkor, and the service will be streamed also on our website. And then Tuesday night, we celebrate Simchat Torah. It will be 5:30 p.m. Outside with the Torah and the band of Milk and Honey. We'll be honoring our newest Hebrew learners with consecration. There'll be a Mariv service that will be in the chapel that will be streamed. We'll dance with the Torahs outside, and then there'll be a Torah service that will be also back in the chapel and streamed. Wednesday morning, in honor of Simchat Torah, there will be a learning session online with me. We'll be studying a little bit of some mystical perspectives on the book of Genesis, of Breshit, as we start the new cycle of Torah, especially about the eating of the fruit of the tree of good and evil that gets Adam and Eve kicked out of the garden. So join me for that. And then finally, we're very excited on next Friday night to start our first Friday Shabbat festival. This is going to be a once-a-month monthly festival. You're going to join the whole Temple Beth El community for food trucks, hand-on activities for all ages, inspiring Shabbat service with the band of Milk and Honey. You won't want to miss this awesome event. For those who can't join in person, also, Kibbutz and Community is an online gathering that at 5:30 p.m. to just share with friends and connect. And then the Shabbat service itself will be streamed on Facebook Live. Finally, on October 12th, this is a little bit farther out, but it's a really special program. We invite you to attend our Pathfinders program. And one of the goals that we have is to intentionally build our community together. And through the Pathfinders program, you'll gain greater insight into how your Jewish history and experiences have shaped you. You'll get to explore how Temple Bethel of South Orange County can be a partner with you on your own unique Jewish journey, and you'll get to create meaningful connections with other congregants. And this will also all be online, the Pathfinders program. With breakout groups online, it'll be wonderful. So we hope you'll be able to join us for all of those things. We're going to conclude our service with Oseh Shalom. And just really want a big thank you to Kim and Carol and Lonnie for just really beautiful music to guide our prayers this evening. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Hey, hey, le, 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 yeah, le, 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 yeah, le, 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 hey, hey, le, 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 yeah, le, 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 yeah, le, 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 Oseh Shalom b'Ramah. Say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, le 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 le. Hey, le 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 le. Le 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 le. Hey, le 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 le. One more time. Shabbat Shalom. Oh,
Shabbat Shalom.
Motzi? Kiddush?
No motzi, just kiddush.
Just Kiddush. Oh, we had motzi. That's right.
Okay, please stand for Kiddush. Forgot where it is in your prayer book, but most of us know it. And if not, you can just hum along as we sanctify the day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehillah למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת לחיים. There's Kiddush outside in the rotunda. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Moadim lesimcha. Have a wonderful rest of the holiday.
Oh, you're welcome, Rabbi.
A joy as always.